right now. It's good, y'all. Welcome to Hood Pencil Pusher class. And if you wonder why it's on the refrigerator, it's because the refrigerator is where we eat. And look at me in the class. Here is a place where we eat because we always remember. This is where it pays to pay attention. A lot of places you just go. A lot of places you just do whatever. But here, it pays to pay attention. Hold on. Let me see something real quick. Fix my camera. What? Yeah, I'm busy.
My mom wanted me to.
I'm busy. Hold on, wait 10 minutes. Is it important?
No, she just wanted to know if there was any cake.
Any what?
Cake.
From where? Hold on, I'm busy. Alright. Yeah, I'm busy. What you want to get in the refrigerator? What do you want?
I don't want anything. I don't want anything. I want right now.
Hold on. Matter of fact, I was going to answer those questions as I go through each selected part. But you know what? I'm going to answer that question right now. It's not illegal to file your taxes. I'm going to go more into it because I don't want to jump all the way into the lesson. So what I advise you to do is get you a pen and a pad because we're about to go over this whole lesson right here and everything that you're seeing on the board. I'm just waiting for a couple more minutes, like 4:30, something like that, so the room can fill up some more with some more people because I don't want people to, miss anything or anything like that. But that's a good question and that will be answered. I promise you as soon as we get there to that section. But it's best that I explain the rest of it first so you can understand the entire manipulation of money and currency and how everything works on the board and how it ties into filing taxes rather than asking how to file taxes and why. At the end of the lesson you will know why and when to file taxes and when not to file taxes. And that's why that question is a lot more to that question, so just stay for the lesson. And it's about to start right now because we're 5 minutes in, so let's start with the lesson. So now we're going to start right here. Credit cards. We all know about credit cards, but what you don't know about credit cards is that it's different types of credit cards. You got secured cards. Oh yeah, secured cards ain't up here. Oh, that would have been a good one to put up here. You got secured cards and you got charge cards. Oh yeah, that's why I didn't put it up here, because a secured card is like a charge card. The only reason why I said that is because it only can spend the money that you load onto it. So if you put $200 on there, you only have $200 to spend. And then every single transaction that you use off of these cards will go on to your credit. The good thing about the charge card and the secure card is that they do not have a bill. I'm going to repeat that again. They do not have a bill. No bill. Write that down right now. No bill. Okay. No bill. They do not have a bill. And this is why these cards is good. Give you a real quick scenario of how you would use a charge card to make things better. And also a charge card is another type of credit to put on your credit. You can have a regular credit card, you can have a secured card, and you can have a charge card. And it's always good to have a variation types of different type of credit lines on your credit rather than the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. So another situation, I'm going to give two situations where you can use a charge card. First situation I'm going to use a charge card where it's a person doesn't have a car and they're getting on a bus, they're catching Ubers, I don't know how much the bus is nowadays. It was $1.25. I don't know how much it is, whatever it is. And then that person is getting on and off the bus. And then now, every single time they get off the bus, since they're using this charge card, every transaction that they do will be on their credit. So let's just say you're a worker, you're going back and forth on the bus, you're buying food and stuff like that. You're getting on the bus probably 5 times a day, there and back, there and back. You know what I mean? And then anything extra that you do. And then those transaction times 5, then that's going to be 5 times 7, then that's going to be 35. And then you're just going to add on, weekend trips and things of that nature that you're going to take on the bus. And you're just going to clock on like 45. So then now you just have 45 transactions on your credit for that 1 week that is going to be reported to the credit bureau. And that's just 1 week. And then it's going to be 45 times 4. And then all of those transactions are going to be reported to the credit bureau. And then it goes the same way for people that do drive and do buy things and do have kids. And when your kids ask for money and when your kids ask to spend stuff, imagine every single time you swipe your card that it's turned into credit and all of those transactions is reported. So then now you got 50, 60 transactions will be being reported in the credit. So yeah, we kind of just went over everything up in there. I just love what I do. So I just started talking this thing. Hold on, let me check the comments. Alright, ain't no more comments. Everybody's still chilling. It was only a couple people, but oh well, we still can keep the lesson going, even if it's just one person. As long as I'm helping one person, that's all that matters. And then now we got credit. This is the good thing. People have credit cards, but you don't know what it is. Like, what exactly is credit? Where does it come from? Is it for us? Like, what is this stuff? We hear these things, we use these things, we want these things. We know it can ruin our life, and we know it can make our life better, but we have no clue what it is. And if you don't know what it is, you can't manipulate it, you can't control it, it will control you. So, OPM. We all know what OPM is. That's other people's money. That's how you look at credit. A credit card is other people's money. It's always good to have other people's money in your pocket. Is it ever a time period ever in your life where it's better to spend your money or somebody else's money? It's always good to spend somebody else's money and then keep your money and then pay them later. And then on top of that, you get better friendships with these people as well. And then they increase your credit line and stuff like that. And that's where we go to emergency. Emergency meaning if you gotta pay your rent, you ain't got no money. Card money. Right now, that's how I pay my card out. I swipe my credit card. I don't swipe my debit card. We're gonna get to the debit card. Don't worry about it. I swipe my credit card, and I keep my money. So I'll be getting paychecks and then swipe my credit card and pay my credit card, swipe my charge card. You know what I mean? You're always using someone else's money. Staying a month ahead of rent, 2 months of rent. Imagine paying your rent 3 months ahead on the credit card and then keeping all your other money. This is what you call strategies of how you get ahead and how you really use credit cards. This is what credit cards are for. They are for shopping as well too, because we want to spend your own money while you're shopping. But store credits and stuff like that, that's all another thing. Oh, but I do have a video on store credits, now since I haven't touched on it. It's called Zip. I use it all the time. Imagine everything that you wear, you build your credit with it. I got a video on that in one of my videos. That's another lesson. Then we got loans. Loans are okay. Only if you really need them and you can get good interest rates on them and stuff like that. Other than that, loans have unknown interest, meaning you don't know what's going to happen to you. And if you don't know what interest is, here at hoodpencilpusher, we keep stuff very, very simple here. So interest is money that you have to pay someone because they gave you money, basically. Because they did you a favor, you have to pay them for that favor. And that's what interest is. Just to keep that simple. But it is many options. It is thousands of ways for you to get loans and stuff like that. So let's move right on the lines of credit. The lines of credit is the same thing as OPM. And you notice I put banking friends. Now, if you get a line of credit, you have a banking friend. You already know what a friend does, what a friend. So imagine what a banking friend do. A banking friend will change your life. It change everything about you. Everyone wants banking friends, and you want as many banking friends as possible. Another good thing about a line of credit is no interest on the line of credit. Like, wow. Remember I was telling you about when somebody do you a favor, you got to pay them for the favor, like in the loan, in the line of credit. You don't have to do that. It's just yours, and it's rechargeable. What is rechargeable mean? Rechargeable means you know how you recharge a battery when it dies. Just like a loan. If you get a $2,000 loan and then you pay it back, you can't, when you take the loan out again, you got to apply for another loan, which means you'll get another hard hit on your credit. Put in a line of credit. If you borrow $2,000 and pay off the $2,000, it's still accessible at all times, and it also can be increased without you applying for another line of credit and getting another hit to the credit report. Alright, check the comments real quick. Alright, cool. Now, let's move on to debit. Debit is where banks benefit. And what does that mean? Bank benefit just means just what it said. Only the bank benefits. They benefit off um, taking your money and making money off of it in the black market. That is very, very true. Which is also why I'm going to tie in bank accounts, because bank accounts come with what? Debit cards. And both of these things benefit banks. That's why they have a small APR. APR is basically you giving them money because they don't got money, and then from them holding your money and being able to pay their bills with it and stuff like that, they give you a little bit of money. Kind of like interest, but the difference is we only get a little bit, and then we got to give them a lot. And, that's basically how banks make about 40% of their income is from interest and fees and stuff like that. So yeah, that's how all of that ties in. So yes, it is a big deal, because it doesn't seem like a big deal, but let's just say if we got 2 million people, yeah, and then we got 2 million people paying 50 cents every day, yes, that is a very, very big deal, and it adds up very, very quickly. So that is the problem with interest, and that's just a low number, like 50 cents. Like imagine 5, 6, 20, $30. So now let's move back on to these bank accounts. Bank accounts, they make money off of you. We just touched on that right there. Transactional banking. Now, this is a word that a lot of people do not know what it is, but you need to know what this word means, because it has something to do with banking. And I'm pretty sure everybody here has a bank account. They have multiple bank accounts. By the way, you can have as many bank accounts as you want, and also you can have as many credit cards as you want. And also with the credit cards, there's something called a 5-in-1 rule. And that is the rule where it's going to be very, very hard for you to get large amounts of loans, lines of credit, and lines and credit cards if you don't have at least 5 different types of credit. So you can have a credit card, a security card, a charge card, and then that's already 3. So this is why it's good to have a variety of different things, but you have to know what your options are in the first place. So now, let's move on down to the debit card and bank account traits. Now, this one says exactly what you think it says. Broke people, habits, and shit. See, broke people, habits, and shit. And that's just what this is. Broke people, and this is broke shit. Using the debit card and the bank account. And this is in habits of broke people as well. Because if you ask rich people don't keep their money in the bank. They keep their money in assets. They keep their money in foundations. They keep their money in businesses. That's another lesson we're going to touch on now on the next class. This is the first class. And we're just getting through the basics before we move on to more complex things, so that people can understand what things are and why things have to be done that way. So now, I almost missed it. Transactional banking. I apologize. Transactional banking means, oh yeah, I did touch on it. My bad, y'all. So many different things. And that is because broke people do this because, for one, if you put 20,000 in the bank, and if you go the next day, and if you ask them for the money, they will not have 20,000. That is because of transactional banking. And ever since recently, when Joe Biden had went into president, transactional banking became zero. Basically meaning the bank has no money except the money that is in our bank accounts. That's right. You heard me. Transactional banking is zero. And the bank only has the money that we put in our bank accounts. And that is why all of this stuff is going on, things of that nature, and all these complications with banks and funds and stuff like that. Now, since we've been going through all of this, now let's get into taxes. Taxes is what all of this stuff is. It is the reason it will, all of this stuff will determine if you able to file taxes, if you need to file taxes, what taxes are, and when to. Now, get tax advantages. One of the main reasons for filing taxes is to get the tax advantages, child tax credits. Um, Let me think of some electric car EV credits. They're like $7,000 right now. A vehicle over a certain size. If you're taking care of somebody, oh yeah, men, if you're taking care of your women, if you win this live, pay close attention. You can put your girl on your taxes and write off all of the money that you spent on her, all of the money that she, all of the food that she ate. You can write her right on off. I mean, that's some game for the men right there. Don't be sweating or being in your crib. You can put on your taxes. And that's another thing. Not enough assets. What's that mean basically is, let's say if you are working, you don't have any kids, and you go to file taxes, but you don't make that much money. It's kind of pointless for you to do it because for one, you might end up owing money, or yeah, that's basically what'll happen because you're not really going to get anything back. It's just basically them just keeping track of your funds and giving you a whole bunch of runaround and things of that nature. But you really don't have to do it. I'm not saying leave a couple $100 on the table. What I am saying is, depending on the situation, if you didn't make a lot of money, if it was just a little bit of money, then fine. But let's just say you have a job like how I used to be before I did this and started the pencil pusher and stuff like that. Well, not before, but you know how life is. We all got multiple skills. Take a while to move out our dreams. And then, uh, what I want to say? Oh yeah, and then let's just say if you make too much money, say you're making $40 an hour, but you don't have any kids. You filing taxes, you will owe money because you don't have enough assets. And that's why I was moving into assets and how assets are important. I said if you have a lot of money, why people with a lot of money buy a lot of land, buy businesses, donate to foundations. They're not always good people. It really just be because they don't have enough assets and they also want to increase their tax advantages. All of these things that you see a lot of people do is tax advantages, and it's because they don't have enough assets. So let's just say if you see a rich person and they buy 20 houses, it's because they're trying to hide and conceal their money and assets so that when they go and file taxes, they won't have, $1 million and then the government trying to take 400,000. That's a lot of money, no matter how much money that you have. And I just want to touch on this last one. Now, since you know what all of this is, you will see that it's not illegal not to file. There is no law that you can Google that will tell you that you have to file your taxes. So, whoever stayed to the end of this video, here's your question. And this question right here, if you answer this question, get this question right, do this lesson, even the people that watch this live, and you send me an email, send me a message, hoodpencilpusher, super easy to find. I'm on all social media platforms. Even send me a message on YouTube, doesn't matter. If I ruin my credit, what should you do? That is something that you should think about. If you pay attention to this lesson, you should know if your credit is down to 400 and you done got 10 credit cards closed and you done got your car repoed, your house repoed, what should you do? How should you fix your credit? And that is the homework. Every lesson you're going to have homework, so all you got to try.